In 2025, where there are social and economic issues happening on a global level, longevity has to start at the foundation, which is of course you. That looks different for everybody. So today we're going to talk about what that looks like for the everyday woman and man, and what that looks like for business owners of all sizes. So let's hop right into it. Hi, and welcome back. My name is Deneen. You can call me D. I'm an astrologer and I teach people the psychology behind marketing. And today we're going to be going over stress at work, how to identify it, some causes of it, as well as some solutions. So let's hop right into it. Let's go. Before we start, what is stress? Let's define it. So, in my practice of industrial and organizational psychology, we learn that stress is defined by the body's physical, mental, and emotional reaction to pressure or strain. Today we're going to go over a model that we use in psychology. It's called GAS, or General Adaptive Syndrome, and it's a model for showing how stress affects a person. And so we're going to be going over that today and all the stages that are in it and what that consists of. So let's go through it and let's start. The first stage of general adaptive syndrome is alarm. An alarm is our sympathetic nervous system being set off. This is our fight, our flight, or our freeze response. And now with that being activated, it only is activated when we are in danger, when we're experiencing a lot of stress, or when we're having a lot of physical activity, okay? And now this can look like sweat, this can look like dilated pupils, all right? As it is being shown. And these deal with the signs Aries and the signs Libra. Aries is the adrenals, Libra is the bladder, the kidneys, and the lower back. All right? Now, the sympathetic nervous system is a part of the automatic nervous system. And in the automatic nervous system, we have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our rest and our digest. Okay? But that's for another video, you guys. Now, when it comes to alarm, alarm is the first stage, and this is what you'll see in the first stage before we go to the next stage, which is resistance. The second stage of general adaptive syndrome is categorized by the body's come down from the first stage, alarm, and it is called resistance. Now, resistance is where they will experience a lot of irritability as well as poor concentration, and you will see this person getting frustrated, this person getting annoyed, okay? And this is very real. So it's very important that you take action immediately as you see this happening with the person before it persists into the third stage, which is exhaustion, which we're going to talk about next. The third and final stage of general adaptive syndrome is called exhaustion. Now, exhaustion is very much categorized by the collapse and the drop in the energy levels and the immune system not performing at its best ability. This is where you will see fatigue, depression, and anxiety come into play. And this is where there is a lot of room for this accumulated stress to turn into a more prevalent problem later on down the line if it's not addressed immediately and fixed as the person is experiencing a lot of accumulated stress. At One Shot Made and in astro marketing in our system, we don't just look at marketing itself, we actually look at marketing as a dualistic process, especially with our system. We use it and we very much focus on the business owner and the health that the business owner has, or the health that the business owner may need to improve or build upon, okay? And now with this, we have it to where we're not just focusing on the results that are outwardly, but actually the results that you're getting internally. And this is a different way of looking at organizing groups and teams of people, but also organizing what you do at work and how it benefits you as well as it positively impacts other people. If you would like to learn more about industrial and organizational psychology and what it is that I do in my practice, you can take our free class, okay? It's free for everybody, and you can see more about the history of it. I tell you guys very in-depth where it comes from, okay? And in my class, which you guys will be able to have for free, you are going to learn very much about the origins of it, where it comes from, how it started off, and what has been done with it, okay? And so you can just click the link down below if you like this video and you would like to know more or learn more for yourself so that you can use it as well, okay? It's very much different from having it on paper versus you doing it in person, but it's very, very fun, and I suggest you try it out if you would like to, okay? In 2025, where there are social and economic issues happening on a global level, longevity has to start at the foundation, which is of course you. That looks different for everybody. So today we're going to talk about what that looks like for the everyday woman and man, and what that looks like for business owners of all sizes. So let's hop right into it. Stress at work, and stress at work for business owners. Now, when you're a small business, this might be trust. Now, this might be trust with your employees, or this can be trust with building your clientele. Second is your time. How much time does it take for you to manage your employees, and how much time does it take for you to get things done in your business, like the operations you have to do on a day-to-day basis. Now you also have another problem, which is the attention that it takes for you to grow your business, because as you start off small, of course you want to get bigger, or you want to have more clients underneath your belt. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to put your attention in different places. Now you have different parts of your business, and sometimes you might not have all the attention that's needed for you to go and put your attention in that one specific part of your business, which can cause stress, okay? And that's for small business owners, the stress that they can go through, or things that often come up. Stress at work for medium-sized business owners. This consists of your staff, the task, and management. So your staff and how it is that you hire your staff is really important, because if you do not hire your staff correctly, that directly translates into the task that they have to take up and the amount of time that is going to take for them to finish a task. And how you translate their skills into what task you assign them to is very important, so that you're not wasting a lot of time having to manage them, or I should say micromanage them, because they should already have the skills and be equipped with the skills for them to do their job. So that management is very much about them reaching their goals, and less about you having to teach them or model back to them things that they should know for their job description. And that takes a lot of your attention away from things that you could be learning in your business to make it grow, or learning with yourself to make you grow. Now we're going to go and talk about when you have a big business. Stress at work when it comes to big businesses and big companies. Oftentimes it involves operations, and how it is that they go about doing their operations in an office or in an establishment. Now, you can also have issues when it comes to your company goals, as well as PR and outreach. Now, the teams that you build or you don't build will make or break your success, because you can't constantly overview or have an overview of that team, because you're not going to be there all the time, right? So how it is that they are set up and how it is that they are arranged is very important, because if conflicts and problems arise, they still have to meet company goals, which is very important for your overall company and business. Now, when it comes to PR and outreach, you need your full attention for that, because these are relationships that you're building outside of your business, and these are also very much important relationships that you're not going to just build, but important relationships that very much show how it is that you are a participant when it comes to society, but also a participant when it comes to social causes and the things that you care about, and how it is that you can give back and impact in a very big and positive way. So if you don't have your attention on who it is that you are building relationships with, how it is that you're building relationships, and very much the depth of your relationships that are outside of your company goals, you can run into bigger issues and more stress, because it's not always just about what you're doing with your business, but it's the relationships that you're building outside of that. Okay, that involves real world things that are happening in real time, present day. Okay, so that is a lot of things that can stress out a big business owner or a big company. Okay, and now we're going to talk about the average woman and the average man. All right, so let's hop right into it. Let's go. Now we're talking about stress at work for the average man and for the average woman. Now when it comes to work stress, this could be the time that it takes for you to do your job. So the time that it takes for you to do your job varies from person to person, and this is very important for the quality of life that you want to live, but also the lifestyle that you're going to be adapting, as well as the health that you want to have, okay? Because not all jobs that you choose are great for you. Even though it might be very lucrative for you, it might not be so great for your health, or it just might not be so great for you as a person in your current lifestyle, okay? Also, what we'll see here is the environment that the person is in. So if the environment that the person is in is stressful for them, or it's fairly brand new, like if you were a day shift person and you start working the night shifts, this can change the rhythm of your sleep patterns, okay, and how it is that you're sleeping. But also to say, if you work the night shift and then you work under high powered lights, like you work in a retail store, you can start to have things like headaches because you're being affected by the lights. All right, so there's a lot that goes into this, but this is very important when it comes to stress that you can experience at work. All right, so we're going to get into that. Not everything in this video, you guys, but I have a few coming up for you, okay? And so we're going to go and switch over to life and stressors that can happen in life. Now, the stressors in life are interpersonal relationships, like your family and friends. It can be pre-existing environments, like the place that you grew up in, just in general, the environment that you are currently or presently around as you go into your job, how that can be affecting you. But also we have internal factors, which are completely coming from you internally, and that can also affect your job, okay? If something is going on with you internally, that could affect the way that you're perceived or your perception on things, okay? And so we're going to get into the next part, and this is the fun part, you guys. Let's talk about some causes of general adaptive stress. And you can say that these causes are very general, okay? And the first one at the top of the list would of course be chronic stress. So if a person is chronically stressed, this can be something that they're doing like heavy lifting. This can be something that they're doing like being stressed in an environment, okay? And when I say stressed, I'm not talking about your regular amount of stress. There's a lot that goes into stress and how that can accumulate in a person, even if it's not something that's outright externally seen, okay? As soon as you look at the person, it is very much something that we have to look into when these things happen. But if it's not chronic stress, you would have illness or injury, which affects the person and the way that their body can react to things, because their body is in a different state. It's not in its regular state, right? And then we have the third, which would be stimulants like caffeine, nicotine, modafinil. Okay, I think that's how you say it. Modafinil. Okay? Don't quote me on it, but it's a type of medicine. Okay? And these stimulants, they can affect the body in a very different way that was not previously studied when industrial and organizational psychology was first coming into being, but is of course modernly, in today's time, something that we look into and we make sure we get to the bottom of when we see it causing a problem. Now, let's talk about some solutions to general adaptive syndrome, specifically the stress that you experience before it leads to exhaustion. So, you can limit your consumption of stimulants. So you can try to consume less of them, or just don't consume them at all. Coffee actually dries you out, okay, first thing in the morning. And this is not something that you want to do on a continual basis, okay? Now, when it comes to dealing with stress and making sure your stress is low or lowering it, you can go for early morning walks, okay? This improves your concentration. And also at this time, early in the morning, you can get the sunrise or the sunlight, okay? And the plants at sunrise begin what we call photosynthesis. Now, photosynthesis is when they are releasing their oxygen and they're absorbing the carbon dioxide. Also, pollution is very low at this time, so it's good for you when it comes to the air quality, okay? It's usually better even in urban areas. Now, you also have deeper breathing, or breathing very deeply for it to be beneficial to you. So properly breathing, okay, from your diaphragm. And you being able to do this or incorporate these methods, you will actually see yourself, okay, change. You can also incorporate, as we were talking about running, physical exercise in general. And this helps your mind and your body, okay? Because you're not just working your body, you're also working your mind, all right? So these are some solutions that you can use and that will help you dealing with stress. And these are actually very good and very easy for you to apply, okay? As long as you make some time in your schedule for it. If you like this video and this resonated with you, this helped you, this impacted the way that you looked at stress and how you deal with stress and why you're really stressed at work, okay, then go ahead and hit that like button down below. And if you don't ever want to miss out on any of our astrology videos or any of my psychology videos, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell so you're always notified. I love and appreciate you guys all the time, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Bye.
They wanna lie like Teresa, now they wanna begin up.